Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Oko. I am the CEO and the founder of Madaraka Festival. And today we are at the Seattle Drum School of Music in Georgetown, just south of Seattle, Washington. I'm really privileged to be here with a special guest, my brother, fresh professor. Also, his real name is James Smile, and my brother James has worked in the New York public school system for over 20 years before moving to Seattle in 2016, where he has impacted the community in so many different ways. He has worked with the city of Seattle as the creative economy manager. He worked with Bambashoot, running the nonprofit side of Bambashoot, and now he's working with Path with Art.
That's right, yeah.
While doing that, he's also an assistant professor at Seattle University. And I'm really, really excited to do this part 2 of our conversation.
Yes.
I want you to take us back, to a moment when you are like 5 to 10.
Okay.
Reflect on some of the sounds that you grew up with, some of the smells,
yes,
and some of the colors,
yeah,
and how they still influence the work that you do in the community today.
Yeah, when I spent my childhood in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So the sounds were police officers, gunshots, and then at the same time, joy. Because I grew up right next to Wrigley Field. Not right next to it, but pretty close to Wrigley Field where the Chicago Cubs play. So, and Chicago's a huge baseball team. So the Cubs are they're big Cubs fans. So every day you'd see people in blue and red walking down the street wearing the Cubs colors. And now, I mostly wear blue and red because of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge Cubs fan. When they won in 2016, it was probably the happiest day of my life. My father was born in Chicago, was raised in Chicago, and because of that, became a huge Cubs fan. So that's the sound I recognize the most and bring into me wherever I go. When I moved to New York, as a very, very young man, pretty much almost a teenager, the sounds of the city were familiar to me.
Yeah.
So that's what I always want to hear, sounds of the city.
Yeah.
And then smells, Chicago's a hot dog town.
Yeah.
So as a young person, I loved a hot dog.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. Hot dog, mustard, sauerkraut, relish.
Yeah.
No ketchup ever.
Yeah.
Never have ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah.
So like the sounds and smells of ketchup in the city. And then the sights, just seeing like fun things, just love. That's it. So I try to bring that everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Growing up in Chicago, you have this joy of baseball, Chicago Bears, especially in the 90s, the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
But you also have that counterpoint of violence.
Yeah.
You have one gang wearing blue, another gang wearing red.
Oh.
You have gangs wearing yellow. So you never know what's going to be around the corner.
Yeah.
So you're always on your tippy toes. You're always wary of things. Always have 360 awareness everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So now, no matter what I'm doing, I'm always like, what are the next steps? What are my exit points?
Yeah.
How do I get in and how do I get out?
Yeah.
That's something ingrained in me.
Yeah.
Including in my work. Like, once I'm into an organization, what's my exit strategy out?
Yeah.
And that's just probably that snake brain of mine, that fight, flight, freeze. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to escape?
Yeah.
What's survival mode?
Yeah.
So that's, for almost 50 years, that's what my life has been.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. The ghetto shaped even how you think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot about growing up in Kenya.
Right.
I grew up in Manyata, which was one of the roughest neighborhoods.
Okay.
In the world, actually.
Yes.
And the way you're speaking about Chicago reminds me exactly how I used to move in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
One of the things that really fascinates me about you is, of course, the work you did, for the 20 years in the New York public school, system.
Right.
Every time I go back to Kenya, I run into my nursery school teacher.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And she used to walk me to school. She would hold my hands, hold other kids' hands. There were like 7 kids with her all the time.
Yeah.
And she still does that.
That's great, wow.
She makes me feel like teachers never grow old,
We're always connected to youth, so we never get older. Yeah, my partner's a teacher. Teaches 5th grade.
Yeah.
And, we went out partying the other night with her daughter, who's in college.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was a college student again.
Yeah.
And it was funny, even though I'm like 3 times her age,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can still do this. I can still party.
Yeah.
So I never felt, we both were dancing all night past the teenagers.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we can still kick it. So yeah.
Yeah. So how did those 20 years of teaching
Yeah.
create the opportunity for you to do the TED Talk that you did? So speak about the 20 years and the TED Talk, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
How they influence each other before we come to you in Seattle and the work you do in Seattle currently.
I think it goes even further back than teaching. It goes back to 1990 when I first heard KRS-One's edutainment.
Yeah.
It was a mixture of education and entertainment.
Yeah.
But that's something I knew I wanted to do. So when I left university, I got my first acting job when I was 17.
Yeah.
So I went straight to TV.
Yeah.
And then I started doing more theater. So that informed my practice as a public speaker. In the meantime, when I wasn't working, especially during the strikes or downtimes of the year, I'd volunteer or get paid to teach young people, ages pre-K through college.
Yeah.
I'd always bring in my artistry to teach. And so that informed both my teaching and then also because when you're a teacher, you're in front of an audience of 25, 30 students who throw things at you and you have to learn to improvise, like on your feet. It's performance.
Yeah.
So
it's a show.
It's a show.
Yeah.
It's a show. It's a show. So
I love that.
Yeah. When I started acting, more frequently, my teaching informed that. Like I was ready for whether it's Michael J. Fox or Spike Lee, I was ready to just adapt.
Yeah.
So then when I quit acting full time, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be an educator because that's, edutainment since 1990 kept calling my brain. I created this program in New York that used hip hop to teach middle school English and social studies. And it wasn't just hip hop music, it was a culture of hip hop, the 5 elements of hip hop, breaking, MCing, DJing, graffiti, and knowledge of self. And also, part of that is what young people were digesting, especially technologically, social media, memes, GIFs. And whether we like it or not, young people know what's happening in the world, and they just take it. Our jobs as adults, especially as educators, is to help shape what they're learning. So if they're listening to Glorilla or Chief Keef or something that's quite negative, there's no denying that they're listening to it. But our job is to say, like, all right, so what are we hearing?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean for your future?
Yeah.
What do you emulate? What do you denigrate? What do you want? What do you do not want in your life? And how do you inform that? How do you connect that to your academic career?
Yeah.
No matter what you want to do. So, I'd have students that were gangbanging, some that have, committed many crimes in and out of jail. And they come to class and they say, yo, man, this ain't for me. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do in life? I want to play basketball. All right, so who's your favorite basketball player? Well, AI or LeBron or you name it. You say, okay, well, let's connect to what's their pathway? What do they listen to? What can you take from them that informs your life? You may not be 6'5", 250, or 6'6", 250, ready to play ball, but what can you do to take or emulate their goals, their mindsets? You just don't wake up and dunk. It's practice. You want to play basketball, you want to be an accountant, you want to be a business person. No matter what you want to do, you got to practice. But you also have to be able to go with the flow and understand what's happening in your life. And that's what young people, that's what they want to do. Like, okay, I see myself connected to the future. It's not the same old curriculum that was taught years and years ago because they don't see themselves reflected in it. They want to see themselves reflected in their future. Right now, for the past 60 years, they haven't felt that connection. So I say all this to say my TED Talk came out of that. I said, what do young people want to do? I'm listening to them. I'm working with them every day. And they're saying, why are we learning about this person? Our jobs is to say, well, we're learning about this person, but also this person is connected to this person or this event in history. And why is that important? Because this relates to you for this reason. So if they're studying the Civil War, they're just like, man, I don't care about the Civil War. That was hundreds of years ago. Like, well, is there still beef now between, West Coast, East Coast, North and South, black, white? well, yeah, there's still beef. Okay, well, how's that connected to the Civil War, and how's that connected to your life?
Yeah.
All right, and then what do we see that in pop culture? Drake, Kendrick, that's probably the most recent. All right, well, let's connect that to Civil War. Oh, okay, I get it. So you make those connections, and then you dig deep into the academics.
Yeah.
So that's what my TED Talk came out of that. Just my years of performing, my years of working with young people, and then my ability to communicate that simply. You know, Bukowski says, an artist tells difficult stories simply, and that's what we do as artists. You know, Madaraka, everyone I work with, we do crazy things and make it easy.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So then when you think about your TED Talk, and also I've seen you speak as a keynote speaker.
Oh, right.
You know, and that was amazing. I feel like I learned a whole lot about you.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. Yes.
So let's leave, everything out first.
Right.
Share with us a moment during your speaking engagements that you felt like, this is really my path. This is what I'm going to do until the last drop.
Oh man, I think it was when I did a terrible job.
Oh.
Yeah, because I quit acting and I had all this bravado. I was like, man, I'm a performer. I know what to do. And I was at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
And they said, will you talk about the work you do? And I was like, yeah, happily. And I got up on stage and I was like, I'm cool, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I can never do that again.
Yeah.
Like, I brought all these years of performing.
Yeah.
I've been on Broadway, been in movies.
Yeah.
And I came on stage like a simp.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't do this ever again.
Yeah.
So the next time I was well prepared.
Yeah.
You know, just like when I was an actor. I learned my script, and then I'd walk in the door and throw it all away because I was well prepared. So when I got on stage again to do another speech, it was being back on stage again, but not as a keynote speaker, but as an actor. And I was in my element. I mean, I was born to do it. I've been acting since I was a kid, so it's my gift. So and I don't say that with ego. I say that like we're all born with the gifts. I'm going to harness mine to use it for the good of the world. So that next time I got on stage, I was like, this is what I should do.
Yeah.
I love talking. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to know what people are thinking about all the time.
Yeah.
So that informs me.
Sometimes there's a saying that you could be talented, but if you don't practice,
exactly,
someone who is not talented could practice and perform better than you.
Exactly. Yes.
So even though you're gifted, you didn't practice, and you could not present your gift well.
That's right.
Because of lack of practice. Yeah. Because then your ego overshadows the gift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. So then you've brought all these experiences to Seattle.
Yeah.
You've impacted me with Madaraka.
Oh, thank you.
The connections, relationships you've given me directly have helped me, you know.
Right.
And then I know you do that with a lot of people in the community, the roles you've played at multiple organizations.
Right.
Just reflect on that for a moment, because there are people who are probably just seeing you on social media as fresh professor.
Right.
But they really don't know your footprint in Seattle.
You know, when I moved here, I was in my 40s. And I was like, I don't know anyone on the west of the Mississippi. So I wanted to know and meet as many people as I could. That's probably the New Yorker in me. That's probably the Chicagoan in me. It's probably just the actor in me. So when I met people, and also the actor in me, I'd think about them. Like, okay, who is this person? What drives them? As I built my footprint in meeting people, I also kept trying to make connections. Like, you know, we just talked about off air having more than one job, right?
Yeah.
And I was always hustling, not in a bad way, not selling drugs, but like hustling. Like, what's the next opportunity? Not just for me, but people I've met, because that's important to me. Growing up in Chicago, in that family structure I had with, you know, my mom, dad, my little brother, and it was always about community, how we support the people around us. So that ethos has driven me forever. And as an educator, you working with young people, you want them all to succeed. You know that some of them need more help than others. Some of them may run into more road bumps, but that shouldn't stop them. So whenever I meet someone, I'm like, how can I support you the way I've been supported? You know, I consider, you know, luck, they say, is when opportunity meets preparation. So if you have an opportunity, I'm gonna help prepare you to get that luck, right? So that's the thing. Like, you know, I just love it. You know, I gotta make connections because someone helped me. I was on stage at Second City, and Steve Carell was my teacher, and he says, "You're funny, but don't go for the joke." Right? So I meet this person. I want you to talk to them, and it was Stephen Colbert. They were co-teaching, and I was like, okay. And that connection led to an opportunity to audition for BET. I was 17 years old. And because I did that, I got this TV show with Queen Latifah, LL Cool J, and Dougie Doug. And I said, if not for Steve Carell saying, like, you're good, but try harder, let me help you out, I wouldn't be where I am now. So now I got to do the same thing, you know? And I remember seeing this play at the Goodman Theater in Chicago, and it was Merchant of Venice. And it was the lead actor was a black man. First time I seen a black man in Shakespeare, pretty much anywhere, on stage. Outside of, like, at this point, it was like Denzel, you know, he was popular, and then Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby, and that was it. And I was like, I can do this too. How can I make sure that other young people know that they have a future, and whatever form they want to do, they can do that. So that's it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Now let's talk a little bit about the work you currently do with Path with Art.
Yes.
What is Path with Art, and what impacts are you guys making, especially in the African diaspora, and also with your role as the Chief Strategy Officer there?
Yeah. So Path with Art, our mission is to foster the restoration of individuals, community, and society through the impacts of trauma via arts engagement. So we work with people that have experienced homelessness, substance use disorder, gender-based violence. Some have reentry from incarceration, veterans experience PTSD, veterans from combat. We work with a cohort of LGBTQ AI plus, and what we do is just bring art to them. We make them. We don't make them. We provide a platform for them to engage with each other, with others, and with their craft. And what we've seen is that people that have experienced a lot of trauma, once they engage with the art, especially in community, online or in person, then say, I'm not alone. This is something I can do. I have purpose, and I believe in myself. And their sense of wellness increases. Their loneliness decreases. They want to do more, not just for themselves, but for the community. And 90% of the people we work with have reported the fact that Path with Art has improved their mental wellness, right? Has improved their sense of community. And 64% of the people we work with are BIPOC. Across Washington State, 50% of our programs are online, 50% are in person, and that's to provide access, because not everyone can leave their house. Not everyone has access to a car. They need art. Art's a thing we forget we need until we need it. So that's what the work with Path with Art does. It's important to me because art saved my life. As a young person, I had a pretty bad speech impediment and a stutter, and if not for art, I would still be second guessing myself. I remember I was in high school, and I went to high school in a pretty rough area. And if not for my sense of humor and sense of self, I may have been killed, honestly, because you run into gang members all the time, and they're testing you. And because they knew me, like, oh, that's Miles, man. He's cool. He's good people. I was like, all right, my art is not just to make people laugh and make people have fun. But also saved my life.
Yeah, it's for survival.
It's survival. Like, oh, yeah, Miles is mad funny, man. He's funny, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, Miles, come here, tell a joke. I'm like, okay, just don't kill me.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody has a way out of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get in trouble, you can get out of trouble.
If you get in trouble, you get out of it. Yes, right. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Now, you've been one of the people who have supported me for years with Madaraka Festival. And I feel like every year, Madaraka Festival feels like something new for me,
Yeah.
And so this year, one of my goals is to invite people that I value their opinion like you to just reflect on the first time you interacted with Madaraka and how you feel about Madaraka at the moment.
First time I interacted was 2017 with Madaraka, or 2018, and it was one, being in Seattle. It was great to see that many Black folks in one gathering.
Yeah.
Two, the creativity and artistry on display from both the people performing on stage and the people in the audience was just lovely. You know, as a creative, a Black creative, that's not something you have all the time. And then three, the community you built from people that were not Black, we're not from the African diaspora, but we're like wanted to be in community with all of us. That's fantastic. That's not what a lot of people want to do, things like that. Barbershoot wants community to be there. Day in Day Out Festival wants community to be there. Capitol Hill Block Party wants community to be there. Northwest Folk Life wants community to be there. Not all of them succeed. Madaraka does, because it's about the people. And it's about showcasing. I'll take it back. Jason Reynolds says, like, you know, it's not like windows or mirrors and windows. It's like a sliding door where the glass is so clear you can see yourself reflected in it, but also see a world into yourself, and a world you have not yet experienced. And I think that's what Madaraka does. It's a reflection of who we are as individuals, but also we see a world that we have not yet experienced. For those that are from the diaspora and those that are not. And I think that's the power of Madaraka. And so when I think about, you know, August 30th this year, it's like, okay, my mom's coming into town.
Yeah.
You know, my mom hasn't been in town for a while. And I was like, Mom, we're going to Madaraka because this is what you need to see. This is the world we've experienced, you know. In the multiple cities where we've lived, this is powerful. So that's what Madaraka is to me, man. It's
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Look at this camera and invite everyone to join us.
Yes.
August 30th, 12 to 9 p.m., Pier 62.
Yo, please check us out. Pier 62, August 30th, the Madaraka Festival, 12 to 9 p.m. Be there or be square.
Thank you all for joining us for today's conversation. My guest has been my brother, the Fresh Professor. Before I finish, is there something that as you are driving here, you felt like this I really have to say when I talk to Simon?
We have an event September 25th at Town Hall. It's a collaboration between Path with Art, where I work, Seattle U, where I work, and Town Hall. I'm bringing this guest in, Susan Maximin, and her book's called Your Brain on Art. And we're really going to talk about the creative power of art, not just for like, oh, I feel good, but like what it does to your brain, what it does for society at large, and the impact of the art on groups and people. And I hope everyone's able to attend because it's going to be a great conversation, yourself included. So please come to that.
I love that. Speak about your work at Seattle University since you mentioned it.
Yeah, so Seattle University, I'm assistant professor of arts leadership, and I'm also a professor in the sports and entertainment management program. So I teach MBA and MFA students about leadership in the different sectors of the world, whether it's sports, entertainment, which includes the arts, and then arts, which is a lot of nonprofit work we do. So I'm helping prepare grad students to enter this profession or re-enter the profession and succeed as leaders, which is being more vulnerable, more accountable, more efficient with their work, and also how to advocate for yourself and your community.
You know, I attended an event that you helped produce at Seattle University with the entertainment and sports management program. And I saw every mover and shaker in the Seattle entertainment industry there. You know, from artists to executives. Speak about that event and whether you guys are going to be doing it again, but also really the impact that it had on you, because that was really a proud moment.
Oh man, it was great. You know, we'll be doing an event again. I try to do it every other year. We partner with the Women in Leadership Breakfast, sports leadership. So, you know, the sports commission will be a part of that. But yeah, the impact of it was amazing because we had Climate Pledge Arena. We had the American Guild for Film Archives, I think that's the name of it. We had, what's it called? Jackson Street Music. There's a lot, and of course King Youngblood, Cameron from King Youngblood. So to have different people from different sectors in the entertainment and sports worlds, and also different generations and different identities. Connors and Company was represented as well. So you had a production company, you had sports, you had entertainment. it was like all these people are coming to Seattle U, which could be and should be and will be the creative center for higher education in the city. With the partnership with Cornish, the Hadreen Gallery that we're building. We have this partnership with Bumbershoot. We have this partnership with the residency program. We're just driving creativity.
Now we need a partnership with Madaraka.
And then we partnership with Madaraka. Yeah, exactly. It was exciting because I was like, all this is coming together.
Yeah.
When I moved here, people said, man, we've missed our creative sector.
Yeah.
We had a great creative sector in the 90s and the early aughts. How can it come back?
Yeah.
So that's driven me as an individual creative. And then through the work I do and the partnerships I make and the collaborations I have with folks, it's like, how can we come together creatively and collaboratively? So that's what that meant to me, to be like, this is happening on Seattle U campus. I want more of this, not for me as an individual, but for us as a community. Like that's my biggest value is community.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, to everyone who joined us, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Madaraka Festival's YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below. Also look at that camera and encourage everybody to subscribe.
Subscribe. The Fresh Professor says so you must do so. Subscribe to the Madaraka Festival. All right.
If someone wants to stay in touch with you, what are your handles? Also share there.
You can find me online at fresh_professor, www.freshprofessor.com. You can find me everywhere at fresh_professor, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, formerly known as Black Twitter, and on and you can't find me. And on the streets of Seattle.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, man.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, peace.